I wanted to create a place where women can come to be empowered, empowered by other women. Women helping women, with interviews of extraordinary and inspiring leaders, artists, celebrities, and changemakers who have overcome great challenges to become incredibly successful and then give back to others so that they can love and believe in themselves, follow their bliss, and shine their light. In this way, we can truly be the change we wish to see in the world. Welcome to the Orgena Rose Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Orgena Rose Show. Orgena Rose here, and I am so excited about my guest today because he's a very, very dear and special friend, but an amazing light in the world. He is a board-certified music therapist. He is the founder of Empower You Academy and an amazing speaker. Please welcome to the show, Tim Ringgold.
Thanks, Orgena.
You are welcome. Thank you.
Thank
you. It's awesome to have you. It truly, truly is because, you know, we've come together in a short period of time, but it has been an amazing, truly. And we'll get into a little bit of that and let you in on what's happening. Yes. So stay tuned.
That's right.
But for now, what I'd love to do is just, you know, we talked already. I've introduced you about your speaking, about you with founder of Empower You, and then also as this board certified music therapist. So I'd love to kind of start there and work backwards. So talk about the music therapy.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a question people ask all the time because they're not used to having the two words put together in a sentence.
Exactly.
Right? And so music therapy? Wow, what's that?
Right.
And I always just help people. I just say take the word music out and put the word physical, and you're used to physical therapy, and so that's therapy to treat things using exercise. And in my field, we do the same thing. We treat things with music. So, for example, I work with clients who are in recovery from addiction. We use music and the elements of music to support the clinical goals that they are encountering and embarking on in treatment. I also spend a lot of time working in oncology with patients dealing with cancer and chronic pain. And when you have chronic pain, what are the tools that you can use to relieve those symptoms? Well, turns out evidence-based research shows music's a phenomenal tool to divert people's attention from pain, anxiety, and nausea. And our perception of time itself changes when we are processing music. So it's just a wonderful tool to use in a clinical way, which is different. We're used to using it for entertainment or for education, but there's really this third space, which is this therapeutic, this clinical space, and that's where I've spent the last several years just digging deep.
And what's so beautiful about that is that third space has actually always existed.
It's really always been the first
always
space.
Existed, right? But we are just now catching up, so to speak, to recognize it as such.
Yes.
And be more intentional about its use.
It's a little ironic.
It is, isn't it ironic?
Right?
Don't you think? So you really jumped into that after coming from a very, very different career.
Yes,
Give us a little background.
I was a mock star, which is a rock star that hasn't made it yet.
Oh.
We've met a few of those in our day, haven't we?
Was that Almost Famous, right?
Right. Oh, that was too close to home. I was like, by the way, not a good date movie.
No.
Just so you know.
Don't do it.
Yeah. So I really, I knew that I knew I needed to be musical. I knew I wanted to touch and inspire people with music, but the music industry matrix was like soul depleting, exhausting.
Yeah.
Maybe some of you can relate to those descriptors.
Yeah.
And I was literally like facing this like, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? And I found music therapy, and as soon as I saw it online, my whole life changed. In that moment, I filled out my application to go back to college, start all over at like 32, and just completely dedicate myself towards that career. And that was probably 2003, that fateful night on the computer.
That fateful night.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. So awesome. And you've never looked back, and it's been full steam ahead, and you've really found it to be an incredibly fulfilling.
It's amazing. Yeah, I don't work, because we don't work music, we play it.
That's,
Right.
I love that,
That's
right?
the field
That's
that
so
we're
true.
in. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I get paid to play and pray. That's my mantra, and that's just what I do every day. I haven't worked since like the day I graduated. Haven't worked a day since.
And that's the beauty. What's that saying, right? If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I don't
you
want
get to really live that, and we both get to live
Yes.
that, and that's a beautiful gift and a blessing. So here you're, in the music therapy, and you're rocking along with that.
Mhm.
And what was your next step?
Well, when I was a mock star, my day job, my Clark Kent persona,
Yes, yes.
was I worked in sales and marketing. And the reason I did was because I could buy back time really fast through commission sales.
Right.
So it was really important for me to figure out how I could buy back the most amount of time for my band. And so sales and marketing were like a no-brainer. But that's a really tough industry. And yeah, you take it on the chin a lot. And so while I was doing that, I was exposed to a lot of positive psychology, a lot of personal development, a lot of self-help literature to really help me, support me in my day job. And when I got into the music therapy space, I noticed that clinicians don't get any of that training in school. And they're musicians first.
Yes.
And artists, and so that they're very sensitive, but then they also want to become these clinicians who want to help, so they're doubly sensitive.
Yes.
And they've probably gone their entire adult life without having to really deal with the marketplace and sales and marketing and networking and all these things. So what typically happens is they inherit just like word of mouth, like stories about selling.
Right.
Stories about marketing.
Right.
Stories
On the
about
periphery.
network. Yeah. Stories about goals. Like not the truth, not the best practices.
Right.
Just like probably bad stories, like negative stories. That's what they kind of drifts in.
Yeah. So then all of our negative thoughts and fears around selling, right? There's cringing and so forth that happens around that, because we all think, used car salesman, we think, skeevy person, telemarketer, all of those kinds of things. Right.
Yes.
So, but you've been able to help that particular community to really step into more intentional and conscious and authentic sharing of what they do.
Yes, because what we do is so unique that and it occupies a very important place in the treatment world. Like there are things that music therapy does that no other modality does, because music is a unique stimulus in nature.
Absolutely.
And so really teaching music therapists how to claim how powerful music is.
Yes.
And that our treatment is like vital to a lot of our patients. It's like the game changer, not like frosting.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's like the cake. Right?
And it's not the woo-woo stuff on the side, and it's not, kind of that alternative. It's actually really, really vital.
Yeah.
I just recently saw a posting that said something to the effect of, music is the only activity that we engage in that uses the entire brain.
That's it.
The one of the only. So we're going to get into how you've been able to share some of those things, really help your community, but then also really stretch that out into the rest of the world when we come right back. So come right back with Tim Ringgold.
Hi, my name is Tim Ringgold.
And I'm Orgena Rose.
And welcome to my baby's first song. We're really excited you're here. We wanted to bring you into the recording studio, into the womb, where your song will be created just for you. And just kind of walk you through the process a little so you get a sense of what it would be like to work with us in this setting. So Orgena's gonna describe the process to you.
Absolutely. So it's a wonderful, beautiful process that happens in 3 easy steps. So the very first thing we do is have a call with you and really get a sense of your style and the music and the message that you want to share with your baby. And the second step is really easy as well. We then take that information, that beautiful message and the sound that you want, and we begin creating the song and have that first draft for you. And then the third step is, once we have that final song all together, we do a nice mix and mastering so it sounds professional and really pulled together, and deliver your baby's first song.
And because your voice is so important to your baby, one of the things we're going to do for you is provide you a karaoke track of the song with the melody line in it so that you can sing along your lyrics to your baby as well.
Absolutely, because your voice, especially a mother's voice, is so important to a baby, especially even in the womb. So we really want to make sure your voice is included. And we're even going to make sure that there's a section of the song that has your voice and your message spoken in the song. So your baby is always hearing your voice and connecting with you.
So thank you for being here. Take a look around. Email us with any questions you have. We can't wait to work with you, and thanks again.
Thank you. Bye for now. Hello, everyone, and we are back here with Tim Ringgold, board-certified music therapist, and yet so much more. So we've been talking a little bit, Tim, about really the power of music and how it's really taking its place in therapy, in the therapeutic world, but then also how you're taking a lot of those things that you've learned from your background and stepping out into a little bit more. And you've begun something called Empower You University, right? Or
Academy.
Empower You Academy. I love that. Empower You Academy. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, like I was saying, in my mock star years, I learned all these great tools.
I love it.
And I noticed that my music therapy community wasn't getting taught any of those tools. And for many people who go out into the workplace after they graduate, they become an employee. They take a certain route, and it's comparatively safe. And then there's those of us who feel we're a different shape on the pegboard.
Yes.
And we're artists and we're entrepreneurs, and we're unemployable.
Pretty much. Right?
You know, because we just have too much passion, too many ideas, too much ownership in everything we do to just be showing up and trading our time for dollars.
Right.
But the flip side to that freedom is that now we have to go out into the marketplace and we really have to show the value that we have, demonstrate it, persuade people to give us money for it before we can actually ever deliver it. And so there's a whole new skill set that has to occur before clinicians or these artists can ever actually do the thing they love. And I found in the music therapy community, people felt very disempowered with that skill set. Like, I don't know how to get my clients so that I can finally do what I have this degree in and this passion with. Right. So if I can teach the tools here, school, we already got all the tools in school for here, but there was this big missing here. So I just decided, well, rather than trying to reform what we're teaching in our schools, why don't I just create a school, Empower You Academy, where I just teach these non-clinical skills, these business and personal development skills, to give them the tools they need to go do what they love.
Excellent. And I love that you just really spoke to all of those pieces. And I know that so many of you out there, you know, especially who are artists who can probably really resonate with what you're hearing right now. Even though your sphere is very much in the music therapy and sharing those skills, you know, it's very much what I do with my Sacred Singer Academy and program that I do with the Global Artists Alliance, because same thing. So as artists, you go and you get all of your fabulous skills to sing better and dance better and act better and, you know, do your art. Great. But then there are no business skills. There are no, how do you now market what you do? How do you share that in a way that's authentic and real and you can now make a living?
Yes.
Right? Because that's the thing that has kept so many people from really stepping into it. They're like, well, how can you actually sustain a life that, you know, that way?
Totally.
So I love that, you know, you're sharing those wonderful tools and so forth. So what would you say has been like the most powerful thing that you shared in Empower You Academy?
Wow. So there's a couple of different things that I share about that are kind of pillars to success that I found in all the success literature. You boil it down and you just keep seeing these same things come up.
That's true.
Right? So, because success leaves clues. It's not, you
Yes,
don't
it
have to
does.
reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, it's not in a vacuum.
No. So there are these basic principles, and one of them that I have seen everybody get wrong is networking. Just, it's whatever you know about networking, it's backwards. I promise you, someone didn't know when they told you what they thought it was, or wherever you picked it up from, I promise you, it's backwards. Right?
Yeah.
And so what I've been doing is I teach at conferences, I do keynotes, I do breakout sessions, I do workshops, and I will teach on these 7 pillars of success that I've identified. And each one, I'll go a deep dive on each one, and I've noticed like total transformation in people's faces from the beginning of the session to the end of the session, because they'll realize everything they thought they knew about the topic was not only wrong, it was a giant anchor.
Wow.
And it was just weighing them down to even approach the topic.
Right.
Because their relationship to what they thought it was just really heavy.
Yeah.
So then I turn it around, and now it's suddenly something that's light and it's effervescent, and they're like, oh, I had no idea.
Right.
No one told me.
Right.
Oh.
And I get to be me. I get to be real and
wow.
authentic. Yeah.
Thank you. So my favorite thing to do is just to redefine these different business practices, you know, things that we've heard, subjects, in a way that really people feel comfortable being authentic in and feel empowered to go out and do. Like, yeah, I can do that and be me and feel cool and have it be fun.
What?
Hold the phone.
Which, again, as artists, is so key.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we kind of have the smell test. And, you know, if it smells like business and sales and marketing, like we're pretty much not going to go. Yeah, that's not happening. That's not going to work for us because we are creatives, right? Because we need that flow and flexibility and true connection, right?
Yes.
So and I understand there's, you know, a whole thing around 7 pillars for you, right, of success. What would you say those 7 pillars are? Kind of talk us through those.
Sure. So, and they're in a particular order for a particular reason. So as I looked at these, there's like a keystone pillar to all of it, and it's values. So your core values are the compass that really sets you how you navigate the world, because the world is either all crisis or all opportunity or all everything in between.
Right.
And how do you decide which
are.
opportunities to follow and which crises to really dig in and fight against, or just you know, not even deal with? And it all comes down to your core values. And most of us don't take the time to stop and articulate and then prioritize our values.
I know, right? Did he say the P word?
Oh my God.
He did.
So what happens when you do that, though, is that opportunities occur in their proper, like, significance. So when you know what's most important to you, what there is to do becomes obvious. Rather
than like trying to fight with, I have all these things to do, and then being overwhelmed.
Yes, because there, you know, and on the Billboard charts, there can only be one #1 record.
Right. Yeah.
So you can't have a tie for 5.
For number 1.
But what we do when we don't articulate and prioritize our values, all the opportunities look tied for first. Shiny, 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 right? Ooh, but this one will do this. Ooh, but this one will do this for my career. Ooh, if this one works out, this would happen. Ooh, if this one works out, this would happen. And we get stuck in this like infinite loop of if-then statements.
Yep. And then analysis paralysis.
And we're just like, I don't know where to begin. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
So that's what happens. But when we take time to shift those priorities or those values, then those opportunities turn this way, and you see which one's the most important for you. And then it's obvious. But it's not up here.
No,
it's here. And it's here. Yeah. And that's the key. Is most people, you know, oh, this business stuff really can be heart-centered, and it can be gut-centered.
And in fact, should be.
Should be.
Like, really,
if you're
doing it right and well, it really should come from your heart and from your gut. Yeah.
So that's
really powerful.
That is the most important thing. Following down, it's like a trickle down, almost like a domino effect. Then we get into goal setting and project management. And again, people have been just taught goofy things about how to actually implement their goals. Everything you've been taught is backwards.
If you've been taught anything. Because I think that's what so many struggle with.
Yes.
They weren't
even taught much about that. So I teach a very simple framework around goal setting and how to make it like bomb-proof. Like just bomb-proof, right? Nice. Like, nope, didn't touch that goal. Try again. Boom. Nope, still intact. Yeah, like there's a way to create goals in a way they're just bomb-proof. Nice. And then how to implement them in a way that it just like sucks you into motion rather than you feel like you're pushing. No push energy, please. No. If you write good goals, they pull you into action. So we have our values, we have our goals. Then we have to understand that time management is not time management. It's self-management.
Hello.
We all get the same 24 hours in the day.
The same.
Sorry. Yeah. So how do we, again, based on our goals or our values and our goals, that starts to inform our self-management. And then, you know, we all have these kind of different personalities, and some work in certain circumstances, some work in others.
Right.
So I've discovered through another genius marketer really a proprietary framework for personality profiles that's never been published that I teach on. And it's fascinating because we all work in teams. Even if we think we work for ourselves, we interact all day with vendors, with VAs, with agents, with managers,
and
engineers, produce everything. We're in a team all the time. And so you really need to understand who you are in the team and who other people, how they show up. And I've created, along with this other genius marketer named Dean Jackson, this new framework for understanding team in a whole new way.
Nice.
It's fun. It's very fun. Once you know who you are and you know who everyone else is, everything they do makes sense.
Right.
Because you're like, oh, of course that's how you would answer because you're this way.
Right.
That's not a shock to me anymore.
Right. Now you understand.
Now you understand.
And then you can make everything work much more smoothly rather than feeling like there's just all this fight and struggle.
Yeah, if you have an idea person and then you have an implementer,
right.
You don't ask the implementer for new ideas, and you don't ask the idea person to implement. No, that's like,
ding, ding, ding,
you know, so then you know who you should partner with and you know who you shouldn't. You don't
to do certain things.
Yeah, right. You don't want another one of you.
Well, unless you know you're going to have another person on the team who's the opposite of you.
That's right. That's right.
So you know how to build your team much better that way.
So you learn how to build a team.
Sweet. Now you've walked us through 4, if I'm counting correctly, and we're going to get those last 3 when we come right back. So come back with Tim Ringgold.
Hi, my name is Tim Ringgold.
And I'm Orgena Rose.
And welcome to my baby's first song. We're really excited you're here. We wanted to bring you into the recording studio, into the womb, where your song will be created just for you. And just kind of walk you through the process a little so you get a sense of what it would be like to work with us in this setting. So Orgena's gonna describe the process to you.
Absolutely. So it's a wonderful, beautiful process that happens in 3 easy steps. So the very first thing we do is have a call with you and really get a sense of your style and the music and the message that you want to share with your baby. And the second step is really easy as well. We then take that information, that beautiful message and the sound that you want, and we begin creating the song and have that first draft for you. And then the third step is once we have that final song all together, we do a nice mix and mastering so it sounds professional and really pulled together and deliver your baby's first song.
And because your voice is so important to your baby, one of the things we're going to do for you is provide you a karaoke track of the song with the melody line in it so that you can sing along your lyrics to your baby as well.
Absolutely, because your voice, especially a mother's voice, is so important to a baby, especially even in the womb. So we really want to make sure your voice is included. And we're even going to make sure that there's a section of the song that has your voice and your message spoken in the song. So your baby is always hearing your voice and connecting with you.
So thank you for being here. Take a look around. Email us with any questions you have. We can't wait to work with you, and thanks again.
Thank you. Bye for now. Hello everyone, we are back with Tim Ringgold, who is walking us through the 7 pillars of success. Now, don't be thrown by this talk of pillars. They're actually really amazingly powerful. So Tim, just recap for us. We had our first 4 you've talked us through, which are?
So we start out with our core values, and then we go into our goal setting, and then we go into time management, which is really self-management.
AKA.
Right? And then we go into personality profiles.
Okay.
So those are the first 4.
Beautiful.
And then building from there, the one I mentioned earlier, networking.
Yes.
Everything you thought, it's all backwards. And the easiest way I can just explain this to people is so many people think of networking as this transaction. Like they're going to go meet people and they're going to exchange business cards.
And make something happen.
Like, right, how can you help me?
Right.
How can you help me?
Or let me help you.
Right? Yes.
Buy my stuff. Buy my stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's this like transactional energy and there's this like selling energy,
yes,
right?
Yeah, the swarmy salesman.
Yes. That's very much all over networking.
It
right?
is.
Just
It's
oozing,
dripping.
right? It's just blah, blah, blah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And networking is really quite opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So networking is a relationship model.
Mm-hmm.
It's future based.
Mm-hmm.
It's not based in the present. And it's just simply showing up in service of other people.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
First and foremost.
I mean, isn't that so beautiful? It's so much more
Completely
heart-centered.
different.
Yeah. It's
So,
real. It's authentic.
What? Networking's about serving other people. What?
What? Connection? Relationship?
Huh? Service? Yeah. And all you have to do is think of it this way. You go to a party, you meet two people.
Mm-hmm.
One of them has got that smarmy vibe.
Right?
Right?
SS Swarmy Salesman.
He's the captain of the SS Smarmy. Oh, kids, come here. What are you going to do for me?
Come here. Let me give you my stuff.
Oh, here's my business card. Call me. Here, can I have your card? I'll call you all day, every day.
But you can unsubscribe.
Oh my
No,
God.
anyway.
Oh my God. Oh, let's just let that go.
Right, releasing.
Oh my goodness. Okay. It's just so. Oh.
And we're back.
Yeah, and we're back. So that's person A at the party. Anyone unclear about what person A looks like? Do you need more?
I don't think so.
Do you need more information? No, I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Person B sits there and just asks you questions about you.
Yep.
And wants to know about you, what you're up to, what you're passionate about.
Okay.
And then finishes the conversation with something like, how would I know if someone I'm talking to would be a good prospect or client for you?
Hello.
And never talks about themselves at all. Which one are you going to throw out the business card? And which business card are you going to keep around?
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, you don't even need that long, right? Hello. That's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
I mean, I don't know about you, but did you just feel that energy shift? Like,
completely.
I actually exhaled because I didn't feel the swarmy salesman, the captain, coming at me. Yeah. I really love that. We're going to have to do a little cartoon for that. I'm going to work on having that. I hope you see that. That's really, really awesome. But oh my God, what a much better model. What a much more beautiful and again, heart-centered and authentic and real.
Networking is so awesome because what happens is you get your attention off of you and you get it on others. And then what automatically happens, you just start falling in love with people that you meet because you find out what they're passionate about.
Yeah.
And you see their heart in what they're passionate about. And you see them for who they really are.
Yes.
And you see what their big game is and what their mission is and what their vision is. And they start pouring their heart out to you. You can't help but fall in love with them. And then you literally want to conspire to help them. Like, no, I really want to help them. Like, who do I know that could support you? And then they're like in your head and like radar. And then like, you know, the whole thing is that now I'm walking around. I'm a referral machine. I'm a scout. I got a radar up for this person because they're so cool.
Yes.
You know, like, oh, I just met this guy. Perfect person. Like, and then this is how you know when networking works. When the person is walking around, right? And they run in to someone that serves your ideal client. Yeah. And your face pops up in their head instantly. Right. They just think of you instantly. And they want to make that connection. They want to make the connection.
And it's just a natural, organic thing. And what I love about what I'm hearing, Tim, is especially for those people who feel like, well, I'm an introvert. I don't want to go to networking. I feel really uncomfortable. It's large groups of people, blah, blah,
really
blah,
intense.
on and on. Right.
Energy suck.
So this, to me, is such a beautiful way to say, great, you're an introvert. You're not comfortable in crowds. You don't need to be. Go and have that beautiful one-on-one conversation with that person over there and just find out about them. Have a conversation like you would with a normal human being, right? As a normal human being. Just have a conversation. Yeah. Yeah. It's completely different. Yummy. You guys... And you're right, like, it is totally the opposite of what everyone tells you. And if you never got told anything, you have just heard gold here. Because it really can change how we do things so that we don't have to have the Captain SS around anymore.
You can sail to another port.
To another planet.
Keep sailing, buddy.
Just keep on sailing. So beautiful. Okay, so that's the networking piece.
Next up is negotiating. And negotiating, another word that can be like, oh, right? Like,
Right.
that's like Donald Trump, like,
Yeah,
power broker.
I always think of
right?
like what you see on TV when someone, they have to negotiate with a terrorist or some crazy person out there,
Wow,
like,
yeah, that's
I mean, really,
high stakes.
that
intense.
is, that's, many of us think of that.
I think of like power brokers and ties and suits and things and Richard
Backdoor
Gere
deals.
Yeah, like
Secret.
hair gel. Not that I'm bitter. But yeah, I like another world. Like they know something I don't, right?
Oh my God.
So when the light bulb went off for me was when I read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey, and he starts to talk about the different models of negotiating.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that they were really like it's a 3-dimensional world negotiating. It's not I win, you lose, or you win, I lose. That is a form of negotiating. But
and
there
some
are
people follow that.
Yeah, and some people do.
Best.
And then there are like several others, and the one that I love the most is win-win or no deal.
Nice.
What's that mean? Well, that just means that when I sit down to the negotiating table with you, there's something I want, sure, but there's something you want too.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so what I have to remember is negotiating is creating a shared agreement between people who have mutual interests.
Yes.
It's right. So
That's
they're mutually engaged. Both people want this to happen.
Right.
So we realize, oh well, there's lots of room to explore if we come from that background that we both want this to happen,
right?
And that we're not going to stop exploring until it really occurs as a win for you, and a win for me.
Yeah.
And that's just like that is not the linear tug of war.
Right.
That's like a 3-dimensional space of possibility and perspective, and we're looking around and we're checking here, we're checking there. It's just a completely different way to come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
And unless it's win-win, we're not going to work together.
And that's so much more of a collaborative energy versus the competitive energy,
Well
which
said.
is to me far supreme, and certainly the way that we can all move forward beautifully and support one another in doing that.
Yeah, I mean, you can compete, go play sports.
Yep.
Like I play soccer, there's a place for it. I get my competitive energy on, right? It's cool. But this, it doesn't have to be in the workplace at all.
No.
Or no. So that's negotiating redefined. And then last week, we kind of roll it all back together into work-life balance. Now, here's the thing. You ready? If anybody tells you there's no such thing, they just don't know how to do it.
Thank you.
It's a thing.
Because I have actually been hearing a lot of pretty big named people actually talk about there's no such thing as work-life balance. And, I sit here as the Libran I am, and I say, and like, there is, and I'm going to say what I've heard it preached against, and then I would really love for you to, speak how you understand it. But some have misunderstood work-life balance or balance in general, just even the understanding of the word balance as stagnation. As they think of the scales, and if they're balanced, they are stagnant, not moving. That's their understanding of what balance is. And I think, okay, that's an interesting approach. Not quite the full picture, because balance it is not stagnation. It is actually the balance. It is the keeping of two sides and holding them both, even if they seem opposite. But there's no way that is stagnant. And there's a whole scientific model, and I won't get into that because I'd really love to hear how your approach and understanding of that is.
Sure. The biggest obstacle that people trip over that I see with work-life balance is they consider balance quantitative. So they think of time as quantitative. And so, there's only enough hours in the day to do so many things. So therefore, what are you saying? I got to do equal. I got 8 things I like. I got to do an hour for each.
Right. And that's not the balance we're talking about.
It's not a quantitative model. It's a
Right.
qualitative model.
Nice.
And how you inform that is by going back to your values. Because if something's 9th on your list, it doesn't take the same time, effort, and energy as the thing that's number 1. Right? So when your activity is in alignment with your values, you are balanced.
Beautiful. So beautiful. So here you've taken us through these 7 pillars, which are amazing, right? Are they not amazeballs? So we are truly going to want to find out more, like want to continue to go deeper. I mean, I know I would love to even hear a little bit more about, just even the base, the foundation and the values. Because if everything else is based off of that, how powerful.
Yeah.
So how can people do that? How can people continue to really go deeper into each of these 7 steps?
Well, my favorite way to share this material is kind of a hybrid online self-study program with group coaching. So I've created a 7 Pillars of Success class.
Nice.
Yes, and the way that it works is that each week we take on a different pillar, and I've created a nice audio where I walk you through in detail that pillar, and then you have a really super clear not 3D, but color PDF action guide that you work the process through.
Okay.
And you do it in real time. Takes usually about 45 minutes for each one.
Sweet.
And
Nice.
and then what we do is each week we get on a group Q&A call, and I answer questions, talk about people's challenges, what the breakthrough they've had. And I do it for exclusive groups, like communities at a time.
Okay.
So, for example, what I have just decided to do, just decided right now,
Just a second.
just this second,
This
was
just in.
this just in. I think I'd like to teach a class to your community.
Oh, awesome.
I know, I just thought of it. It's such a great idea.
No, that's really, really awesome. I
Yeah.
think that's the beautiful thing because you're having like energy and
Yes.
and so forth.
Yes, there's this level of familiarity, and the questions are relatable. Like people are in, they have common interests and common passions. So it's not, well, here's a guy in accounting who's talking.
Right,
over
right.
here, and here's a gal over here who's doing chakra.
Right.
No, everybody's connected. So we
Nice.
get really great community, and it keeps everybody accountable to do the work at home each week,
Nice. Yeah.
which is very important.
Yeah.
Now, if you went to my website and you were to just buy this on your own, you'd be on your own. You'd get no Q&A support, and that would still be $297 to do that. And it would still be amazing if you're able to be accountable on your own. But
yeah.
if you are, go for it. But instead, what I'd like to do is teach this class to your community, and since it's your community, I'd like to offer that group coaching aspect in addition to just the audio and the action guides, and do it for $197 instead.
Wow.
If that's okay.
Wow. What do you think? Is that okay?
Add the coaching, drop the price.
That's
It's a little
really,
weird.
really awesome. Thank you so much, Tim.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's an amazing. Okay, like as I like to say, that's redonkulous. Hello, $197, so we get actual group coaching with you.
Yes.
And the self-study, so you
Yes.
can kind of work at your own pace.
Yes.
That's kind of like amazeballs.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
cool.
Like-
And it's fun.
And
I
it's
don't do
fun.
anything if it's not fun. If you
Yeah,
haven't
I
noticed.
don't
like to have fun.
think any of us want to be doing that, so that's
No.
really awesome.
Yeah.
And Tim, everything that I've seen and known of you is you're just all about the give, and this is so incredibly generous. Yet another example of how incredibly generous you are. So
Thank you.
thank you. That
You're
is
welcome.
so beautiful.
My pleasure.
Please do not
Come on in.
allow this incredible opportunity to slip by you, and stop the struggle, stop the squirrely dance and struggle and overwhelm. Really help yourself.
Yeah,
Really,
and
Tim,
the last thing I just say is have fun in these
Yeah.
areas of life that
Yeah.
used to not occur as fun. Let me help you shift them
Yeah.
so that they used to look like this, and then I get through with it, and they look like that.
Voila! I love that.
It's magic.
And thank all of you for being with us today. I'm so excited that you've been here today and look forward to seeing you in the class. Thank you so much. Bye
Bye.
for now.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being with us today on our show. I really hope that there was something shared that really helps you shine your biggest and brightest light. Please stop by again, like us on Facebook, tweet us, all of those good things. And most importantly, please always remember, it's all about love.